really understand. Strengths and your weaknesses. Essentially, you gotta go back to your childhood. You gotta really remember the days of when you were a kid. Like, before the world told you who you were and what you're capable of, before your parents and society, the school systems. And it's not easy because some of our childhoods were like rough, you know? Some people have been through a lot, but you gotta like very soberly and honestly time travel back into yourself and go back to the days of like when you were really young and you had dreams and you talked to the trees and the wind, you played with the animals and you imagined the world like a really huge place, and you could imagine things and you could scream out into the distance and you didn't care about what people really thought about what you would say or do. Your mind was so free. You were more of a spirit, more of a being, rather than a personality, because that personality, right, is developed. It's like a computerization. It's a programming that occurs naturally as you go through life, right? The things people tell you, the things you hear, the things that you see that your brother, your sister, your family, your parents, the people around you do, and what you then eventually come to realize is like normal. You gotta realize that, holy damn, you gotta check this out, man. I was literally sitting on that seat before. Hold on, check this out. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's the really venomous spider that you see. Like, you gotta go back to your childhood to really discover your core strengths, your primary strengths, you know? You have secondary and additional set of strengths and skills, but I believe that these are developed, you know, as your life progresses and as you go through experiences. But you gotta go back to your childhood and you gotta really look at what were you the most obsessed about? What sparked your curiosity the most? What inspired you the most? And secondly, you also need to open your mind to the deep-seated fear that you had as a kid. Because by analyzing, by investigating your fear, you'll actually discover your strengths. It's in the places of your psyche where the strongest emotions exist that the greatest impressions are made. And just like the roots of a tree that are all very unique, they tell a story, you know? There's character there. There's symbiosis between what you know and what you don't know, what you love and what you fear. And those oppositions within you as a kid I think, hold the key to your core strengths, you know? Like, for example, I loved drawing, but I sucked at it, right? And as I got older, I practiced, I got a little better, but I still kind of sucked at it, you know? I wasn't the best at it, but because I knew that I sucked at it, and that I loved it, my desire to keep practicing will grow until I, came to a point where I'm pretty confident with my drawing skills now. I have that skill developed, like I can draw, I can sketch, I can visualize with a pen, pencil, crayon, whatever it is that you hand to me, right? You gotta look at what would you do that could solve a problem in the world that you're not afraid of trying and failing and trying and failing, consistently, right? Like, you gotta find dedication to a craft or to some skill set that you could work on consecutively throughout your life, or even throughout lives, like building, right? There are many different forms of building. There's carpentry, there's concreting, various dimensions to building. And each of these corners of this body of a very important kind of industry skill can be honed upon throughout one's life, like woodworking, or I don't know, like painting. The entire universe within every single craft has a universe in which you have to explore, you have to continuously build. And that long-term dedication, that ability to see into the future and be like, okay, well, it's possible. I believe it's possible that I could achieve this level of skill or this level of ability within a certain industry. It's all about programming the deep-seated belief that you are capable. You don't believe that you can develop and refine and get to that higher level, then you will never achieve it. You know what I mean? But a major part of walking your path is deeply programming yourself and reminding yourself that you are capable of it. Another one is environment, right? You gotta go and surround yourself and be right up next to it, positioning yourself in the world. You might need to move country, or get closer to the type of people who have that particular skill or that particular knowledge already advanced, right? Like a field that surrounds certain places, certain people, certain industries, certain buildings. You're a novice. Just by being physically close to these places, these people, you increase the likelihood of having synchronicities and encounters with the people from that industry. So sometimes in life, what's really stopping you from getting good at something is not always how much you know or who you know, but where you stand. Like once you move, once you gain flexibility to reposition yourself, the opportunities and the people and experiences will change, right? Major thing, you know? At the same time, you don't want to get too close to the source, right? Because it can burn you, right? You know too much. If you're too visible to the pros, if you encounter the people in the industry that are quite advanced and they notice you trying to make too many moves, too many interactions, you might get blocked, you know what I mean? So you gotta do things like subtle. You gotta learn how to be subtle and how to be humble and how to listen more than speak. Yo, here I am. It's like 2 a.m. And all I can say is the best thing to do when you're feeling down is stay curious. You know? It's like water. Water stays clear as long as it moves, right? And curiosity is the power that moves you forward and through, you know, all of life's weird ways. Right? Stay curious about things that interest you. You're gonna gain the inspiration and the motivation to constantly get yourself outside of your room and explore the world in whatever way that you can, right? And like in my experience, probably the worst feeling I ever had in my life was just when I was stuck in one place. Everything became like repetitive, and I was just stuck with like the same job, the same habits, the same people, the same gym, the same, you know, whatever it is. The universe exists within you, so you gotta learn how to travel within yourself and travel in the world. Because the world is just an extension of your inner world, right? The way you see the world, the way you interface with the world, other people, is how you face it within yourself, right? Like, my greatest dream and my greatest goal is to just be free from having to be in one place, you know what I mean? Like, free of having to be in like one job, free of having to, you know, just be stuck in like, you know, all of these that become far too familiar to me. Like, life gets interesting when you find yourself in a place where you gotta like gather resources and like make new friends and explore various corners of the mountain, right? Take photos and find like cool animals and creatures and things like that. You know, that's what That's what interests, enjoying life that surrounds me, right? If I'm just stuck in one place, I'm stuck in one room, I'm in that one room for most of my life, I just think it's mentally degrading, you know what I mean?